passive, you know, call, no 3-bet.
What is that first hand? What a life. What a life. Scared, I was scared you had the big one.
Queen Jack, huh?
Queen Jack.
Imagine I check Queen Jack, you check 6, they check both behind. Sickle, huh?
Pepping with the tempter here.
We check Queen Jack.
I think I check. I think I check.
This is his 4th time here at Merritt. Plays tourneys in the 2 to 3K buy-in range, mainly cash. Been a live cash game pro for about a year. Feels familiar with this field. He's played with at least 5 of
But
them
this table is
lately.
very big.
And unfortunately for him, Alberdar is the only person that he hasn't played with before, and that may be a bit of a disadvantage as he picks up 2 for the ride here to the A7-6 board. Chudnovsky, top pair, middle pair for Barakat, both out in front of this frisky Queen 5 suited, which is still reaching for chips, David.
I think they saved the place for him.
Yeah, he's got that sort of classic, all the back doors kind of hand, so it makes for a very good C-bet here. He obviously can represent the ace, and then, you know, if he picks up a diamond, an 8, a 4,
Imagine
maybe
to see
even a
his cards full
3 or a 9, he may well continue on the turn. So when you have barreling cards, it's kind of nice to continue your story as a pre-flop aggressor. He's chosen to do
What
that.
time did you play yesterday?
Oh, and very interesting here from Barakat, deciding to define his hand in an interesting sort of way here. Second pair, he's bumped it up now. That will get rid of pepping.
Ultimate.
Tricky spot
I
now
know, I know.
Fun.
I know.
I needed a session like this. It's always
for
like
Chandovsky.
every session
You lose?
where I need to blow some.
I think the back doors may make this a compelling call here. Obviously, a 5 gives him an open-ender. He has diamonds.
I feel it when I see 3-bet dark.
My instinct
Go
is
for
we're going to
bet
see
everything.
a call,
I
at
played
least
many hands in
on
the
this
game.
street.
Most of them I said, some of them I didn't say. Shouldn't play those.
Ooh, that's a big card there on the turn as it produces a nut flush draw and a gut shot
Think
for
about
the ace-4.
how can I change
There won't be too many ace-7s and ace-6s in the cut-off range facing a hijack open. I'm wondering if, when check to, will Barakat decide to
I think
go for another barrel here,
Very
essentially, you know, somewhat
habits.
using his blocker
No.
7, but also
during
just
the
sort of
years
trying to
you make very
represent
bad habits.
a stronger hand.
With this unserious.
He's not going to be given the chance here. Chandovsky is actually going to
No, I play
lead into this one. He does have the flush draw and the gutter to go with
But when
top
it's
pair.
big-
His hand is good right
when
now.
it's small, you don't care.
This should shut things down.
I want to like have this mindset where I care.
Healthy size bet into the
Can't have.
1,825 that was out there, and
You have
you
a lot
see
of money.
Barakat
You have a lot of money, right?
really
I think you don't
uncomfortable
need this
spot
mindset to
for
care
the
about,
7-8.
because you rarely play small games.
Yeah, he will be trying to figure out
Right.
what hand would
Yeah, but like when I come here and there's
basically call the continuation bet on the flop,
what should I do?
then call his
Yeah, you play, but
raise on the flop, and then
You just
lead
take
in this
the
situation. I guess
money.
4-5 is the
Unluckiest guy
draw
with
that
this
got
place.
there.
Every time
4-5
I come
suited,
here, it's like the sickest
possible.
game. And every time I come here, it's like the shittiest.
no, this time I think we
Hard
have very
to
good.
find too many bluffs, though. Is Barakat
No,
going to
I
make a
think
big move here?
What?
I think I don't know. I feel it.
I feel it.
He is,
sure
you know.
is.
Wow.
Continuing to tell the story, by the way, though, you got to respect the fact that he's declared that he's got a
Yeah,
big
he
ace
lost a
or
lot
better,
last time.
and he's continuing to
lost
make
a
that
lot.
declaration here on the turn. Of
Yeah,
course,
usually when he
we
does,
know that
like, comes
Khudanovsky
down, he wants
is
to win.
not going to concede with
He
this
usually
holding.
would have
So
like
what remains to be
not
seen
fight,
is how
but
he
he
reacts
gets
to the
pissed.
raise, and then once we get to the river, whether or not
because of
Barakat's
the
going to have
first
another barrel
One or
if
two times.
Khudanovsky is unimproved.
Oh yeah, he told me. He told me the
Yeah,
rule just
Barakat
opened.
very much representing sets here, 6s, 7s,
Like, even me,
maybe
I
the
don't
4-5
want to
suited
struggle
in the button range
no.
here as well.
No, you can't.
He can have
Mm.
ace-7 and
I
ace-6,
can't.
usually the suited variety here in the dealer button too.
No, really last
But a
time
real
was,
tough spot here for
simple
Chudovsky
game.
because he's obviously got an
Okay,
8 hand, but he also has a draw to the nuts.
and Gianni
So he
was
makes the
there.
call as another $8,600 brings his pot to over 10K. And on the river, the 6 pairs,
Javier.
a complete whiff for Khudanovsky.
Interesting card for Khudanovsky from
No, I
the
don't know.
point of view that it makes
show you
sets combinatorically
But
less
no,
likely.
no telephone.
Sevens is now the more obvious set. Obviously, there's one combo of sixes out there as well. So,
We tend to rule the aces out, obviously, given that Barakat chose to flat call on the button.
yeah.
Probably shouldn't say that.
With microphones.
But do they listen?
I don't know. I think they
Can't
listen
imagine that he's thinking of leading out here.
They listen the hand between the
Perhaps a
you
block
watch
bet
in the stream,
sizing?
they play
Yeah, he's
10,000
just got
spots
too
and they
little-
picture us how we speak.
There's only 4,950 effective left. I can't really find a sizing you would choose here to block. So I think maybe going for the slow check, hoping to discourage his opponent from bluffing if indeed he has some bluffs, because it's a hard one to call with here. You've basically got a terrible ace and you... Yeah. Barakat, will he pull the trigger here? I think it will work if he does. He's shown so much aggression.
Can't use the phone.
I think no. I don't know.
No, he shuts it down. And I'm very relieved Tchaikovsky will be delighted to see this one go his way.
Angela. Angela.
Where is the flash?
He's not being told he's lost
Ace.
yet.
Ace.
He doesn't need to be told. He knows and might be lamenting his choice to check back on the end there, obviously. He took 2 shots at the pot, and once he faced resistance on both of those streets, you can kind of...
Not the crazy parties.
Are you gonna rewatch the stream?
I'm still gonna do
Are you gonna rewatch the?
probably
You will?
burning.
Then I might as well tell you, no?
Last burning.
Learning language.
I would never do it for anything.
I want to see how you all play.
I'll tell.
To learn language.
Burning Man.
Bluff with
Ah, Burning Man is good.
What is good?
I felt it right.
I heard
Next time.
it got way worse. Like last.
Yeah, of
You
course.
must have gone to Burning Man
Yeah,
down the
because
years.
it gets
What makes
like
you say that?
everybody's
Just you
fan
have a
of go
Burning
there
Man
to
Do
vibe.
I
make
look like a
pictures.
man that skips a day
Yeah,
of
like
bathing?
way more,
Popular.
Ever?
yeah.
It gets popular.
Is there not a kind of a posh way to do Burning Man?
But it's
Like where you
probably last
helicopter
year that
in
I can
from the
go
5-star
there and
resort
try
hotel
it.
you've been staying in for
I
the
do
day?
feel like even if there is, that may
How many times
defeat
did
the
you go there?
purpose of Burning Man. I think you're supposed to be roughing it.
Okay.
Oh, it's your first time?
Yeah, that's fine.
You want to burn, huh?
Yeah.
You want to burn.
Quite
Yeah, there you
famously,
go.
by the way, Antonio Esfandiari,
So to
a
burn
massive
some,
Burning
Nero.
Man fan, who has recruited many poker players throughout the years to join him at the festival in Black Rock Desert in Nevada, back in the U.S. 9-7 tray, all spades here. Zhudnovsky out of the big blind.
Faut commander un café pour
Flop
ici,
spades, but a king of spades working hard for Barakat here
Latte, latte.
in the big blind straddle confrontation.
Yeah, this could get spicy here, I gotta say. Khudnovsky obviously 5 deuce the last hand. 5 deuce suited a lot more playable, a lot more defendable, and that he did. Sort of flops gin of sorts, but we see that Barakat far from out of this pot.
He does have the pair of threes working as well. But a spade will be required for the time being. Quick peek back.
Quite like a flat here, given that he has a piece and the non-nut flush draw, but
The massive bet though, 3,000 into 1250.
yeah, it puts the cat among the pigeons. I still think you probably have to. Well, I don't. Yeah, I suppose that's making him feel like maybe now he would be committing so much of a stack that he should just go with his hand. It's dangerous though. Like I suppose you're hoping your opponent just has the dry ace of spades if he's going to go this sizing and then call and then, you know.
Yeah, and a jam here from Barakat, who tended to agree with you in the face of this sizing.
Well, this is no decision for Khudnovsky.
Yeah,
And
he
we're-
flicks in
It's all in and call, right?
a call. Yeah,
We make showdown here.
So we have a 20k pot.
No showdown?
Let's make showdown. Let's make showdown, everybody. It's better.
Not sure everybody at the table agrees that they want to just auto showdown here.
I didn't hear a quorum.
So
Jérém, si c'est all-in and call, il y a showdown ou non?
Yes.
Si c'est all-in et call, il y a showdown ou non?
7 outs right now. Some slim backdoor opportunities for Barakat as well.
Yeah.
9,000, how much is it?
All of that put together amounts to 32%.
Yeah, it's 10.
Khudnovsky, well, he's had such a good day already.
Oh no, 9.
I think he started with 10k. He might have 36 in a minute.
Let,
What do you want to do?
I don't know, it's up to the table. I don't know.
let's make showdowns. It's more funny. Yeah.
I agree. But it's up to them, to be honest. I mean,
Well, Khudnovsky taking the bull by the horn is just going to turn his hand over
So
anyway.
all we show down.
Yeah. Ever can do make showdown.
You want once, twice?
Well, let me see it first. I showed you. Once, of course.
Wow.
Run it.
Once. Okay. I'll try my luck.
Khudnovsky.
How
Going to
many
take
times
his
do you want?
chances that there isn't a spade
Twice?
You want to do it
headed
twice?
for this board.
Let's do it twice.
No, we've changed our mind.
I did it for you.
Okay, 2 times.
Barakat asking to run it twice here, obviously.
Benli. Irani.
Looking to chop it up, perhaps. Turn card now. Does present some other opportunities for a victory. The ace, of course, not one of them. So, first half of the pot sealed up by Khudnovsky, who is free rolling to the scoop. Barakat hunts a spade, not available on the turn. And needs one here on this river. No, right color, wrong suit. And Hassan Barakat
Sorry.
loses his buy-in there.
What a start for Khudnovsky.
Just white hot, David.
And he's playing super deep now with some of the other big stacks. People like Gar, who bought in big now. He's basically playing those kinds of stacks.
Are very
Telling you what
much
people
in the near
have.
future
Yes,
for this
I have
room,
my-
as it's been a bit of a best kept
in dollar.
secret, but
Wait, where's
with
my
these
other
streams,
yeah.
with some of the word of
Thank
mouth,
you, sorry. Man, here, thank
with kind of the economy rebounding in many places post-COVID, we're going to continue to see larger and larger fields. Wouldn't it all be surprised if we ended up with some alternate lists somewhere down the line as we reach capacity? But these are all good problems to have.
They sure are. Speaking of breaking records, they've broken the record here, I believe, in the Vintage Festival, which I believe is in November of last year. We obviously saw the Western coverage just a few short months ago where the field sizes were huge there as well. And as you said, best kept secret, but not for much longer because Triton coming here, EPT coming here in October.
right.
I think, you know, cat's out of the bag.
You can by yourself, huh? Is that this year now?
Pepping was the party starter with this ace-jack. Gets out of the way in the face of the flat and 3-bet behind him. Jack 5 deuce board as Khudnovsky hung in there. $1,500 c-bet from Georgiev.
Oh my god, no.
Ace of clubs in Khudnovsky's hand is interesting here. He's obviously got backdoor wheel, backdoor Broadway, and backdoor not flush draw. It's actually the kind of holding that can raise sometimes in this situation. Now, it's a tricky one because Georgiev's not very deep. This is sort of a function of all these straddles that have gone on here. We anticipated a much deeper game in terms of big blinds, but actually in reality, with the blinds going up, we've ended up in a slightly shallower game. But yeah, this is the kind of multiple World's Fair of backdoors that actually makes for a good raising candidate. Doesn't have to go big here with the raise either. And he's just going to flat, so maybe we'll identify some turns that he can lead on.
Well, this turn is one that smacks Georgiev for top pair, top kicker, and will certainly make things a bit more difficult for Khudnovsky's purposes, though he does pick up the Broadway gut shot. Note, by the way, Pepping, who started the party with the ace-jack, would have been in a real uncomfortable position on that jack-high board where he'd be thinking top pair, top kicker is good.
Looks like Khudnovsky considering the merits of a lead here with the gutter. No. And at this point, I think it's white flag. Not the best card. Obviously, most of the deck was going to give him some form of backdoor. This is not probably the prettiest one. Maybe looking for a 3 or a 4 of clubs or a queen of clubs for something a little bit more tempting. In the face of this 3k bet, I think he's just got to surrender it now. Far too many hands in Georgiev's range that are well ahead of him now. He's going to give himself the opportunity to get some physical information though. Khudnovsky sizing up Georgiev.
Mr. Shabit, 50.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. A deep reach.
You know, sometimes we will see players do things like this in these cash games with the intention of just keeping an eye on the opposition and seeing whether or not there's any sort of response that they can glean that would help inform them with respect to the strength of their opponent's holding. See him just comes with the call.
Wow.
So he is queen fishing. And there is the queen of spades. The nuts on the river for Khudnovsky, who is running white hot, Lappin.
Yeah, that's a pretty filthy way to get there. There is no way Georgiev will be putting him on ace-10 here. In fact, I almost think if he leads this himself,
so tilting,
Georgiev will be in a tricky spot. Maybe
like
still has to call it off. But
I swear, no, I just
should
saw.
Khudnovsky check, I
It's-
imagine Georgiev
I
might
was
just
like-
bet himself.
Asking Georgiev for a count here, 6,500. We're talking about just north of
What?
half
Like I-
pot remaining for Georgiev, and that's kind of an uncomfortable thing to have your opponent ask of you in this spot where the queen really is not a welcome sight for ace-king as played. Little does he know it's the ace-10, though, that has downed his ace-king. Oof. Believe it's all on request here, indeed, 7K. And Georgiev does make the call. Apology is issued before the hand is even displayed. That one's got an aftertaste.
You flick in the one chip call and your opponent
That
goes,
confused you with the
sorry.
question,
Yeah, yeah.
That must be the worst feeling.
Chip, you got ace jack when you check raising on there?
Chips
Ace
to the
jack.
feature table.
You checked already?
Georgiev
2 $300 barrels he threw out there against Geiger with nines
No,
against
the
King
easiest,
9.
like Lucky's hand.
You start to give a little bit more credit than you might otherwise. We're all susceptible to the part of our subconscious that kind of is dissuaded from entering into altercations against a guy who really strikes everyone, I would imagine at this point, as unpredictable.
Talking about the viewer.
Yeah, so far from Khudnovsky, we've seen some really good poker, to be honest, some really intelligent plays. That ace-jack standing out particularly as a recognition of who had the range advantage, who could represent what. But also some, you used the word mischievous, there's some mischievous plays from him as well, as he's decided to, you know, do some non-standard stuff as well and confuse his opponents and maybe put them on tilt and off kilter. And look, he's involved again, and he's got the best hand again.
Five on the turn here as Khudnovsky adds a gut shot to the equation.
Interesting here that Pepping did decide to call out of position here with King 10 on that flop.
500.
Clearly a bit of a whiff.
500.
And he just feels his opponent is capable of barreling. So is he going to find another call here with King High? The
I
board is very
can't
wet
imagine.
now. If you're pepping here, you're trying to figure out, well, if I am going to be a little extra sticky, what sort of hands? Oh, well, actually, he's gone the other way. He's decided to raise this one up.
You know, I had a weird suspicion that maybe Pepping had just kind of made up his mind that Khudnovsky is just out of line.
This is fishy, though. Khudnovsky may well suss this one out because, you know, Pepping's sort of representing like a set because even as played, you know, will an overpair take this sizing against this opponent on a board that straightens the board up that much? Yeah, maybe he would. So maybe he's got more than just jacks here. He might have his aces, kings and queens, his ace jack possibly. But Khudnovsky will definitely be thinking, well, this could clearly be somebody deciding to fight back against my relentless aggression here. I do have second pair. I do have a gutter to go with. I don't think he's going anywhere. And the question will be, will Pepping muster the courage on the river, one feels? What's the old phrase? Don't try and bluff the rich guy?
I believe that's one of many that would apply to this situation here.
Oh, the pump fake! Chance Corneth, eat your heart out.
I suspect it's getting in there, though. I mean, the 6 has to feel clean.
You know what?
For
I
sure.
don't believe it unless you're gonna put it all in there. No.
Ooh, yeah,
Careful,
you do have to be a
careful.
little bit careful in that spot. And this is absolutely not what Pepping wanted. You saw Khudnovsky turns right to him and says, I don't believe you unless you put it all in. Well, let's see whether or not Pepping is going to leverage that declaration here on the river, completely unimproved on the arrival of the Queen of Diamonds, which does bring the flush in. Unfortunately for Pepping, he does unblock diamonds with the King and 10 of hearts and clubs.
Diamonds could make sense for Pepping here. He can rep diamonds, I think. He's going to have a lot of diamonds that had a little something additional. Maybe the ace-6 of diamonds, ace-4 of diamonds, maybe the ace-5 of diamonds might take a line of this nature. It's a little funky, and he's not gone for a very large bet.
No,
river,
he sure hasn't. And I don't know whether or not, given how deep and in the black Khudnovsky is, that this is going to get it done. Remember, he said, I don't believe you unless you put it all in. Well, if that holds true, might he look his man up?
At this sizing, you're not meant to have too many bluffs here in Pepping's shoes. So he sort of decided to merge his range, which actually does make it somewhat more convincing to Khudnovsky, who's trying to piece it together. But there's no doubt the line taken is a little fishy from Pepping. And he's just wondering, okay, am I up against the flush? Am I up against pocket aces, pocket kings, who've taken a rather funky line?
Oh my God.
Started the hand with like 19 or
Khudnovsky considering a raise, perhaps.
Well,
Feeling
this
like
would
his
obviously just be turning his hand into a bluff. It seems like it would be a bit needless, but
Khudnovsky can have the 6-4. He could be nutted all the way along, just flatting the 6-4 suited on the button. That makes total sense. So, you know, he's got a 7 blocker as well to some 2-pair combos that would have taken this line maybe on the turn.
All right.
He does let it go. Pepping.
what do you want
The-
to see?
Of all the people, I'm not sure I would have.
I agree.
chanced my arm. Really wanting to bump it up to 2-4 unless they do feel like sort of gambling it up maybe towards the very end of the night. Also, I'm not sure if it's necessarily always the best thing for a cash game to end up that shallow, because what we want to see is some interesting hands develop, some deeper spots. I think that's what actually makes it more interesting from the
Sure.
viewer's point of view. So I think the game is pretty nice right now.
Yep.
Unless we see some some players reload and get deeper. Or I think probably keeping it as is going to be conducive to the best possible poker on show.
Call.
Georgiev getting after Daher's straddle. 7-5 suited, turns into the bad side of a gut shot up against top pair on the Jack 10-8 board.
Using that low equity bad gut shot with the backdoor flush possibility, decides to go for a little lead here. Don't hate that from Georgiev. Will paralyze the action against most of Daher's holdings.
Now he does add another pathway to his straight, courtesy of the 6 of diamonds. But of course, once flatted by Daher on this board texture, you can rest assured Albert does have something cooking.
He needs to go big, I think, on this turn if he's going to continue.
1850 in the middle, and he's dialed up 1200.
Yeah, I like this. And we see it's not going to work yet, at least. But I do like the line. I think he's got to have some leads on this board. I think picking the 7-5 out with the backdoor hearts is a nice combo. And then when you hit that 6, it seems like a good reason to continue. They're going to be sticky, of course.
Making the call with top pair. Board pot swells to 4250, and the 4 peels right off on the river to give Georgiev the 8 high straight. Runner, runner. And let's see how much he's going to be able to pick off of Daher's stack.
So important in this spot to have a target hand in mind. I think he's going to be eyeing up a hand like Ace 10, Queen Jack, King Jack. They're most likely holdings that would pay a reasonable sized bet. Don't think he can go for an overbet size given the line he's chosen. I think it's just too likely to get folded. So probably going to go for something around 2/3. That seems like the right amount of greedy. No,
Oh
he
my
doesn't.
gosh.
So this doesn't have to work as often. Obviously, if it gets called occasionally, it's an amazing result. But I think I would have chosen...
But it is so
The more
incredibly
likely to get called.
polarizing to barrel this much into that pot. We're talking about over 2x.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be hands like King 9, maybe, that are going to be the bluffs. You don't...
Well, you see
don't
Albert just shooting a glance over, try to get anything that he can.
Going to have a very narrow range here in total. You're going to have a couple of bluffs and a couple of value combos, really, when you decide on this sizing. Queen 9, 7, 9, and then maybe the King 9.
Card. What are your bluffs, Neros? Ace Queen, King Queen, King 9.
And we hear Dar plucking out the King 9, along with the Ace Queen and King Queen, which he thinks are maybe the bluffs. I think he might discount some of those stronger ones, to be honest, given the line. King Queen, certainly possible.
I'm at 11. I don't think I should fold this hand.
Oh, wow, okay. Well,
Well, that's not what 11,450 of Daher's soldiers wanted to hear. That's a lot of phone calls to next of kin. If he
Yeah,
clicks call here.
King of Diamonds in your hand, I'm just thinking back to the turn there where you might have some, backdoor stuff that picked up the diamond draw and then whiffed and went
Very
with
tough.
it. But you have the King of Diamonds in your hand, so you don't really want to have that card, I don't think. Thinking more deeply into it.
Yeah, it does block the bluff candidates
And it
that
blocks
you
the...
need him to have.
Exactly, the King Queen is the other hand that he's kind of picked out, or the King 9. So I actually think you need to find a fold here of your Dar. But he does seem to want to be sticky. Fascinating spot and fascinating decision by Georgiev to go for this. big polarizing size.
To his credit, by the way, he's given nothing away. I've had my eye on him here the entire time.
Oh, wow,
and he
gets
does
his-
get paid.
Sick stuff.
Albert with a gut punch. Yeah, just a grin / grimace there.
And you know what? Like I
David, who wants to play a game that small?
Generosity.
I don't want to play a game that small.
So 1 round?
No.
Fuck you.
full of character, this table as well. Good-natured as well. Chudnovsky having thoroughly dominated an hour of play to spin up that 45k stack, then got slapped around in a pair of pots where he got bluffed, and then he had his bluff called by 8 deuce on a board with a lot of big cards and a deuce on it.
There's something about it, David. It's you get called by bottom pairs one thing. You get called by bottom pairs a deuce. That's
Yeah,
the
no,
slap
right.
in the face.
And
You straddle and you just get a hand.
straddle, and he
That's the
wakes
way
up
it is.
here against
I'm lucky.
the Dar
You're
range,
lucky.
which will contain a lot of nonsense, one would
Do you
assume
have
here
a
on the
hand?
button.
You're making a move.
Actually has a real hand here. No way he can fold to this.
I think you have.
1700, I don't think.
My timing is very off today. It's like
Yeah.
a disaster.
Mr. Bociana.
It's a disaster. I've never seen it been like this.
Successful 515.
Yeah, I saw that a moment ago where Hadaglu limp raised under the gun with the aces.
Yeah.
Now here he is 3-betting from the 3-betting from the straddle. You see Albert here, you start to think, hang on a second, what's going on here? The limp jam, you give them credit. When they're 3-bet the straddle, your mind just start going places. And here he is with top pair, outkicked.
And he's gone for a bigger sizing as well. Like you can go a third, even a quarter in this situation as Hadioglu, but he's actually gone for that almost half pot size bet here, which is going to give Dar very little way of escape. He's obviously got a call here, and well, there's not much left, James.
Yeah, setting up pot size behind. A lot of scare cards could come, David, but that not one of them.
Pure guessing game now. Hadioglu's going to stick this in for roughly a pot size bet. Dar is just going to be.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was going
hang
to say,
on.
does he have to? I mean, with 3-bet from the big blind, we're going to have some bluffs. You want to give some give ups. You're up against an action player. Maybe you send a little bit of love out the other way. Give him a chance to pull a move, but
Do you go for an advanced blocker now? If you're Dar, do you check it back? You just check it
that's
back.
that's a horrible river, isn't it? That's the river that
Pity.
shows the shot, but checked again. Now does guess Albert Philbin need to bet something? You want
You want to make kings and queens pay something,
to
don't you?
and maybe there's some scraggy handy 3-bet with it's got a jack in it. You know.
And we are ready to start the warm-up. Blinds will be now.
I think the speed of the check as well. You're not too worried about it being a trap. And there we go. He does go for it. Oh!
You didn't have anything, did you?
I will look at this hand.
Huh?
I will watch this hand.
Whoa! Seemed like he had
round
a
straddle, round
To
straddle.
put 1.5.
kind of had a few splashy bets early on. They got
Straddle?
got
taken apart, and then
Round,
a
round. You
heater.
already
and
started the round, yeah.
now
I
maybe
think you missed
confidence
it, right?
a little dented.
Yeah, you got
So you-
picked
you
off for a
always
couple of
travel
middle-sized
Yeah,
pots,
doesn't
and maybe that's just taking the wind out of his sails a bit. And he's turning the straddle here, and we're going to see that when it gets back round to him. He'll look down at nines.
But I don't
Yeah,
want to
he,
stack
was,
you
it
anything.
took a while to come to the check. Almost as much time as I spent at
think-
the
I don't-
dessert counter.
Oh,
Not
stop!
half an hour
think
ago.
you
It's a
David.
dangerous. It's a dangerous place.
I was-
James.
Stack everybody.
I was
Not
frozen,
two person.
Yeah, but
like
you
a rabbit
feel
in the
very good.
headlights, looking at what to take.
You feel
I
very
did
good if
3
you stack me
laps
too, no?
without touching anything. Just
Or you feel
want to make sure I
Yes,
take the best
but I will
option.
feel the same if I stack
What was it
Sergio
in
and
the end?
you.
What was the best option?
No, equal.
I wasn't
But
quite
if
sure
you
what it was
feel
when I picked it up.
No, no, no.
But it was almost like
I
a
think
No,
Twitter
you'll be more
just
pleasure to
developed
stack
in
me.
chocolate.
I saw them.
no,
Yeah.
because
Delicious.
I always killed Sergio and he always killed
So in
me.
there is
so,
Yeah, I mean, it's stuck me so many times, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Speaking of delicious,
For him,
It's
it's
poker,
just
it's
another
always-
Friday.
Oh,
Huh?
Just another Friday.
Chudnovsky
Really,
and
I
Hadioglu
do
again.
to him what you do to
And-
me. Like,
Yeah.
always
well,
like
I
this.
don't.
There's always
I don't
somebody
see
who
us
run
not
really
getting
good
this in at
against
this stack
somebody
depth.
who
The
really
stack
run
pot
bad
ratio
against.
just 3.
Yeah.
1,000.
Um, flush draw possible.
But Miro ran bad with
Hadioglu, do you go for the raise or
Yeah,
do you
Miros
just call
is
here?
sun running. He doesn't realize it.
Just
Here we go.
Just
You like the call. You
Like
gotta
this
let your
hand
man
is like
keep betting. He just
completely
didn't bluff
standard,
the
the
last hand as
7-5.
well.
It's
So
just
you're gonna
like-
think he's not
I've
gonna make that
seen it
mistake
like
again.
1
So if
million
he's got a
times,
bluff,
it's normal. And he thinks it's normal,
taking
right?
it.
And like Jack 10-8. How can I win all the money? It's 6-4. Yes, 6-4. Just put it out there. No problem.
Lucky is lucky.
the worst card in the world for
Lucky
him
is lucky.
on the turn. The offsuit 8.
Yeah, of course. Lucky's lucky.
Nine's still good. Now, good time to check jam.
Yeah, I think you can spring your trap. Now, there's not much left behind. Another 3,800, laying a great price if your opponent does have
Put in.
an
I want to
overpair.
raise
Well,
it for- oh, sprang for
Kudnowski
4
will feel a little sickened by this because he can't get away here. His opponent could have
Yeah.
7-8, but he beats. Could have some
Like,
diamonds.
Huh?
Thank you. Both energies combined.
We have an agreement that they'll turn over their cards in these situations, so I assume Kudnowski will
Nice.
comply. Good for the game. There
How
it is.
you want? Doesn't matter.
16k pot,
Let's make it 2.
just 2 outs.
Twice or once?
2 times.
2 times.
2 shots at the cake. Oh, not to be close each time. You know, the 4 close, you're peeling that 6, could be a 9.
There was no chocolate inside that profiterole.
think we
No,
have the best
that one was
table.
that was
That was
yesterday's.
air.
They
That was just air.
got thrown back out.
Not for me.
Man, that buffet is going to be the end of us.
Oh, stop.
You're like
For those of you watching who haven't
Yes. No,
made
no,
your
no.
way down to Merit yet, there's a many good reason. There's these crazy cash
Like
games.
I'm winning.
There's these amazing tournaments going on.
2000.
But I don't think enough's made about the buffet.
I'm down.
If
Infinite.
you want to come down here,
How much am I though?
it's
Not
something else.
Counting them.
25. 20.
My favourite thing. Interestingly, I was in there.
How's 25?
Obviously, the players were on dinner break in the warm up, which we were picking up from
They're amazing, guys.
some of the guys who were working here for that event, working here now, and yeah, really delivering the best products, the best visual product you can deliver. I think in poker. I don't know how you can make these really any better. These events, the coverage.
Oh, I especially love the sort of bubble coverage where we get almost feels like there's a drone hovering above the arena and yeah, zooming in then from time to time on wherever the action is. It's that wide shot actually that I really enjoy. It's a establishing shot as we come in to look at a feature table, but it gets utilized for those kind of moments, maybe when there's 2 tables left or when we're on a bubble, and you really get a sense that these guys are cinematographers too.
Yeah, that's it's a beautiful setup.
Do you think I did us a disservice there? Do you think there's a secret 50k high roller
Mr.
out there listening to the stream who's gone, wait, hang on a minute, I hadn't heard about those Triton things. I
Anybody
might go now.
could be a
Check
secret
some out, Avan.
high roller. Let's not kill the aspirations. But hey, what it is a massive cash game for us running the site.
Well, that's
so
true. That's
anyone
right.
come
That-
over and get involved. Enjoy the fine weather we'll have in May. Catch a glimpse of the Triton action. Catch a glimpse of the biggest names in the game out here playing. It'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is a beautiful time of year. One could argue the July, August months are very hot. If you're into the really sunny weather, you're into all the water sports stuff that James was talking about earlier, if you're into getting a suntan, well then yes, absolutely July, August. But actually, for me, May, June, September, lovely climate. Just a really perfect climate. Days in the late 20s, early 30s. You can still get a suntan. Probably wherever you live, it's not as nice.
Wherever you are, viewers,
Probably.
probably not as nice as here.
Yeah.
So, you know, any time of the year.
Well, not much for Dar here. He is contemplating a cheeky move here. It won't work on this street, at least. Georgiev with open ender to go with top pair. Quite like his decision to check back here. Monotone board makes a lot of sense. Dar just really taking a blind stab at it. Not going to work. River could get interesting. We'll have to see how that goes.
Mr.
Looking
Yarden.
at this thinking, how's Alba going to win the pot? But I said that a few times already, and see if we can find a way.
Yeah, I guess he might find a way on a Jack of clubs or something like that. Ten of hearts going to be a more challenging story to tell. Georgiev's played this one well up to this point.
Yeah. Strategy-wise, in this game, give as much rope as you can to this man. Can't be good with this ace-deuce, he knows that.
These guys obviously have history. That very exciting hand as you walked into the booth, James, where Georgiev decided to go for the 3x pot. And well, is he going to get some of his own medicine
Yeah,
here?
he's gone for the huge bet. I love this because, like I say, he's always up against some form of made hand.
Yeah.
But a lot of those are weak. A lot of them are pair plus draw. You know, like what we have here, the king seven. But I would describe more the 6-7s, the 5-7s, the 6 or 5 with a club. The kind of weakest hands that can never stand this level of heat.
Yeah,
So
you've
go
gotta- here we go.
Love it.
Just got to do it. Got to do it. Georgiev, take a bow, sir. That is a very, very well executed play. I almost feel like he predicted, as soon as he checked back that flop, he sort of predicted this is the villain who's going to go half pot.
Mark.
Which one?
Certainly is.
What stakes are we going to finish at tonight?
Yes.
I don't know if we'll get, I think we'll get 100, 200 maybe, although some might argue 50, 100, 200, we're already there.
Right.
200, 400, I'm not sure if we get there. The problem being that you know the likes of Albert might put the 800 on. And now you're going, wait, what? This isn't what I signed up for.
Mr. Nicholas.
Adioglu back at it again, this time with King Queen.
Yeah.
Barakat perhaps showing some signs of boredom on the button. 10-9 offsuit.
Yeah, it's a little keen, but got the button. Good for him. Everyone else folded behind. Not
Bad
so-
for him, the
Yeah.
King 5 deuce.
Yeah, not the flop you're looking for, but important not to compound early. You got in there out of frustration. Now you don't want to think, oh, I've got to over rep here because I'm in here with garbage. Just got to.
And you're squaring off against Hadioglu, who really isn't the man to be deemed out of line.
Right.
See him following through with top pair.
Yeah, just 3-bet the hand before. Now opens under the gun.
Mr. Marat.
Like he's thinking about this. He's thinking, well, I've come here with 10-9. I came here to do something. And he is going to do something, Ali. I see yellow chip going in there.
Ill-timed.
The sound is too loud when she speaks on the microphone.
3xing it.
Can we lower it a bit?
Kind of interesting spot because I don't think really want to be raising with too many hands on this board, but there are some.
Really,
The-
just like
the deuces and fives potentially.
King Queen's got to be pretty darn comfortable here in this spot, given that one would presume Barakat would be re-raising the ace kings of the world.
Right. The only thing I'd say back of that is that I haven't seen Barakat kind of do anything like this thus far. So maybe you'd be like, well, it kind of looks like he might have deuces and fives. Maybe he has deuces and fives. But hey, the heart on the turn is going to make the King Queen feel a lot warmer.
Yeah. Yep. Second nut flush draw.
Barakat's got the minor hearts.
Angela.
He's sort of
Angela.
made a loose one pre. He feels like he's got to do something on the flop. If you can do something and a heart rolls off, I guess we're carrying on. 23k he has, 4k in the middle, so loads of avenue for this one down the streets.
But what he also has, as you alluded to, James, is that sort of table image that, much like Hadioglu, who is self-aware about his own table image,
Yeah.
is snug.
You can see Hadioglu's face there as soon as that bet came in. He was uneasy. He had readjusted in his seat. Sure, he's got a lovely hand. Top pair, king, queen, king of hearts. But there's still some concern here. The sets would have
Yep.
raised. The bluffs, maybe he's thinking they're flush draws. This board has got both worse and better against those ranges. Again,
We just
nothing
see-
he can do here but call, but I think he wants to take a little time. Try and work out what we're going to do in a whole bunch of rivers.
Yeah, plotting ahead is certainly something that one wants to be doing as a habit, and he gets away from King Queen with the King of Hearts, and I wish you could all see the look on James Dempsey's face in the booth here. That is, I don't want fire in or around my face. Strike me, I strike myself as a flammable sort of object, you know.
Pass.
Certainly could.
I have
see
never had a
something-
manicure or a pedicure, but I have for the first time in my life, at the age of 41, I now allow the barber to shave my beard to
Ooh.
get a better line,
Okay.
because I'm one of those people who has like a weak chin and no jaw anymore, so I need the line of my beard to pretend for me
Right.
that such thing exists.
to help define.
And I used to do that myself with varying degrees of success, but now when I'm in the barber, I just go, "Do you know what, while we're here, that for me is a huge luxury. That's
Wow.
my day in the spa."
David. Our definitions of luxury are a little bit different, but Georgiev looking to take this luxurious king-queen suited to glory. As Pepping, the 6-4, is going to take a flop. Now, off of a stack of just 19K, this is a considerable investment.
Yeah.
And a gut shot straight draw with backdoor diamonds
Wrapped
against
around
what
that
is
five
top
of
pair.
diamonds. Yeah, this is a must continue situation for Pepping here, wrapped around that 5 of diamonds. He cannot surrender to a bet of this size, particularly because it's just far too important for him to have some continues that aren't pairs. Could feasibly raise over a bet of this size. Not be unreasonable at all. Coming with the call though.
Yeah, content to just flat. Another 2,400 into the middle. Now a double gut shot, courtesy of the 8 of hearts, which further incentivizes Pepping to continue. But let's see what the number is that Georgiev comes with.
If the number is half pot, then shoving is not out of the equation for Pepping here. Actually reminding me of a hand I played in the Turbo here a couple of nights ago, very similar to this one, and I did shove turn faced with a very similar bet size stack to pot ratio type situation.
North of half pot, though, to 2/3 is the sizing precisely.
Yeah, if he had 3 or 4 more K, you would prefer that move. Or if you were facing a bet of 3.5, you would also feel it. But is it possible he's going to come with just a call again and maybe decide, should his opponent check rivers, find some bluff situations?
Oh, wow.
Or just do that.
The 3 of diamonds rolling right off.
Poor Georgiev. He's actually been on the receiving end of some of the worst runouts today.
To be fair, that big 2x river pot where he made runner straight against Dar was meaty, and you always know when you jam
Full
there,
nuts.
get snapped, that king queen isn't going to be a winner.
And Georgiev now down to just 8.5K. He may well top up here. Or
What a big pickup, by the way, for Pepping, who really has been kind of at or near even for most of the session. Small ticks up, small ticks back, as you see
Yeah?
from Georgiev toward who?
Jealous.
Albert?
I think it was Albert.
Romance in the air here at our streaming feature table.
They've been side by side for quite some time now.
Well, so have you and I, but I've yet to hear any of those sorts of declarations out of you.
I brought you a
David.
drink.
Actually, you did. and I watched Planet Earth, and I believe in the avian community. Oftentimes a token, a trinket of sorts by the male bird at the roost
Is to bring a glass of
To bring-
Turkish lemonade.
to try to attract a mate, which I don't know how to disappoint you, but tab A to tab A is not going to yield offspring, Lappin, if that was your intention.
Offspring is getting a little ahead of ourselves, you know, but, you know.
Top 2 is getting way out ahead of pocket deuces here on the Queen 10-4 board, where Fernandez still checking and hoping to get Budnovsky to put some chips into the middle. Well, he's done it, but at the very modest sum of $200. Check raise to 1,200 leaves Kudnowski.
Sticky.
Calling. Oh my goodness. The deuce of clubs on the river,
Wow.
giving Kudnowski a set, and this is really, I mean, save for the ace-5 that maybe Fernandez is going to be able to give him, this could get pricey.
Oh, this is being blindsided in the most profound way.
This is
Facing
being
an overbet.
swiftly kicked in the nether region.
Question is, do you raise over an overbet? He's bet about 1.25x pot.
No, how much I'm down.
Maybe, just maybe, you just find a call in this spot. Maybe, just maybe, you think to yourself, unless I'm literally targeting Queen 10 here, 4s beat me, 3s beat me, 10s beat me, Queens beat me, draws are not going to call a raise.
Yeah, what hand is going to pay me off here once I put a raise in?
Yeah. I think
Then
if
I-
Fernandez bets like 1,500 on the river, he gets a bit bumped up to 6k. But when he makes it 4k himself,
I didn't win one big pot.
I would not be surprised to see Kudnowski just call here when he sizes it all up. It's an interesting situation because obviously you've called it, you've literally hit the Miracle River. He is going for more value. He is being greedy here. He's gone up to what, 10k maybe?
Looks that way.
Gets called.
Snap
So he finds his
called.
customer. That is so disgusting. Fernandez,
God.
cool as a cucumber, taps the table. I would have been a bit more
Now we
Animated, shall we?
yeah, I'd have been a bit more eyes out on sticks going,
Yeah.
We're on
what?
the bad side of the table.
Confirmed.
I'll watch the game. I'll see what you have.
Literally the very
big
next
hand.
hand.
Remember
in
this
the,
hand? I had a really big hand.
in the order.
On the river.
Very big hand on the turn.
On the turn,
On the turn, I had a really big hand.
5-6 diamonds. Wow. Can you give me granite ball? Oh, pomegranate ball.
I feel like Dar could get frisky when this gets back to him with the 10-9
Yeah,
suited.
I thought you still had it.
It's funny when we have the straddle out there, so we get the effective big blind in the game. We get to see that hand rig sort of prejudices as we go around.
Yeah.
How much?
I could see Dar 3-betting this 10-9 suited
Sure.
here.
Ace deuce suited open from Kudnowski.
Yeah, they're
He
really
won't
deep.
mind playing in position against him.
Yeah,
All
2k.
more levels, late registration open. Quick reminder for all the spectators is a 30% guarantee for the
You feel like playing or no?
We can be pretty sure
You feel like
Kudnowski not going anywhere. The wheel ace.
Let's play a big one.
I thought he was going to look over and say, do you want me to play, like he normally does against
I
Albert in
want
this
one of
spot.
us to double up.
100k pot I would love to see.
Oh, hello.
Club draw for Kudnowski on the paired flop.
Dar is certainly going to come with a c-bet here.
Yeah, we'll see just how much life he looks to breathe into this one. Just 10 high.
14.
Oh, I thought it was 14k for
Yeah.
a moment there.
Had the double check,
You have to be sure with this guy. Could be either.
right?
Oh, look at this, Ali. Bloody Mary. Maybe one of those beetroot drinks.
I'm thinking it's a watermelon juice, if I'm being
Watermelon
honest.
juice, okay. Going to give it the full swish. Maybe take a sip.
It's no
Put it down
Oreo
and
at
then
the
think.
ear, but it is going to correspond with a call.
This guy is the best. I love
Truly.
Kudnowski. Oh wow, look at this.
3 of spades.
Dar certainly capable of firing the second barrel, and now Kudnowski with the wheel draw to go with. He does check it over to Dar, throwing out some rope. Well, what an interesting, don't know if it's our final hand, but we're coming towards the end. Maybe we're going to see some fireworks before it's all done and dusted.
6,900 out there, and 5,800 is the figure dialed up by Dar. I don't think Hudnovsky's got an appetite to find the muck, certainly after adding equity.
9 or 10 of clubs could be fun. Mightn't even need a fun card. Dar might just empty the clip.
5.8.
I love this.
Stir, swig, and decide.
Mr. Hassan, Holden 515, Hassan.
So, in Dar's mind, he's up against a hand like 5s, 6s, 7s, 9s.
Now the board has double paired, as Hudnovsky fails to hit the club or the 5, let alone the ace. And wholly unimproved.
Dar might feel like he's got to go like
ruined you
30k
everything.
here
Huh?
to get the job done.
Just ruined you everything.
You ruined everything?
No, the last 3 ruined you everything.
Why, you have a 3?
You have no 8.
I have no what?
You have no flash draw. You were checking me out. So go for it. Let's try again. Either check me, or
What do you think I have?
what do I think you have? Can't tell you.
What do you have?
Wow.
You have an 8?
I don't think you speak like this with an 8.
I don't think you have an 8, do you?
No.
Otherwise, I would put on. Otherwise, I would put some money on it.
I think you have like 2 jacks or something like that, right?
Maybe,
You have 2 jacks?
maybe.
So 2 kings are good?
Love this, by the way. That entire exchange, by the way, very much helping shape Albert's decision on whether or not to bluff here on the river.
But to
30K,
pay
Ali.
5.8
30K is
with
coming
a 2
here.
jack, is that what you're saying? To pay you 5.8 with a 2 jack, so you thought I have 2 jack with a and pay you 66,000, right?
What would you do with 2 jacks?
That's what I'm saying. You just said you think that I have a 2 jack. That's what you just said.
No, I think it's a possibility that you have 2 jacks.
2 jacks.
Not jack deuce, like
I
jack
thought
jack.
you
Yeah, that's
said 2 jack.
oh no. No, I know you don't have jack deuce. That's for sure. Maybe
No, I
yeah.
don't have jack.
You don't have that.
I don't
Maybe you have jack deuce of clubs.
Deuce of clubs is certainly in there. But relevantly,
We enjoying the
so's
last
the
game,
ace.
I think, for the stream.
Which does make for a tremendous bluff catcher.
Hadi.
Double paired board.
23,000.
And a bet of 23,000 comes in from Albert. And what a gut check. No one has put Hudnovsky in this position thus far on the session.
Told you, Ali. This was coming. This was coming because the speech play made it so it almost helped him be
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
make this convincing.
Agreed.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's in Hudnovsky to make an absolute hero call here.
Also agreed. You know, the thing is, we are coming upon the end of the session. And even Hudnovsky, for whom the money doesn't seem to matter so much, is not immune to the sense of wanting to simply not have all that we've worked so hard to accumulate throughout the entire session evaporate in one fell swoop with a bad decision. Of course, as you and I both know, and everyone out there streaming right
Good
now,
bet.
it would be a good decision.
The right amount.
Dar's going to love hearing that. And I believe that's going to make
8.
an official
8 or
mug.
nothing.
Can pick one.
Doesn't matter. We'll watch it. It's the last game. It's the last game now. Anyway, we'll watch it.
Is it the last hand?
Yeah, I
Last
think
hand,
it's maybe one more.
9, 10. I told you it's the right amount.